Welcome to the tutorial for the hardest mode in God of War 2018. To start off, I'm going to show some, pretty much all the items that you can get in this area after you complete the encounters with the Dark Elves. There's a few items that are worth getting, including a apple, which I think there's an apple in here. Which would, if you've been following the video so far, then this apple should give you your next health bar upgrade. And there'll be a horn after the mini-boss coming up. And if you collect that, that should give you your next rage bar upgrade as well. So, definitely worth getting. This is a runic attack. And, I don't think I ended up using it. I tried it out for a little while, but, I like the Frost Giant Frenzy better. But you may want to experiment with it. It may have some uses. Yeah, and there's an apple you can get here, and a treasure chest. That's the first seal that you have to destroy, and then there's two more. They're a little tricky to hit because the platform moves back up, but, after enough tries you'll get them. It took me a little while to get it, but I just edited it down to save time. And then there's one more. Yeah, now you can get the apple, and you should get your health bar upgrade if you've been following the videos so far. Which can make a huge difference, having that extra hit on your life bar. When you come up here, you're going to be forced to use up your rage bar, so you'll waste it because the game forces it for this cutscene. But, yeah, it's very easy. You have unlimited rage, so you can just beat the shit out of these enemies. And the fastest way that I found, I just use the stomp to knock them into the pit since they're right next to the edge. But it's easy as hell either way, so, there's no challenge here or anything like that. But then after you deal with these and waste your rage bar, the game will waste it for you. It lasts forever until you get to the next area, but once it goes away, then you have to fight a few enemies. I had a lot of deaths in the previous fight, but I don't think I had too many deaths here. I did die. I died several times on the mini-boss fight, but I didn't have like a lot of deaths on it. But I think I died a few times on it. The mini-boss can be tough because you have some enemies that appear while you're fighting the boss. And you also have to kill the enemies prior to the boss appearing, so it can be tricky. I would recommend saving your rage for when the boss comes out. When the enemies come out with the boss, actually. I would say use it for that. That's when I used it. I found that the most useful. So yeah, here you're just going to deal with a few standard enemies at this point. And you can use the axe throws or you can fight them up close, either way. It's not going to be anything new at this point. Yeah, here I use the charge throws, which I forgot for a while that I even had them, so I wasn't even using them, but I guess I remembered by this point, so I use a few of them. But, you know, a lot of times they'll block the throws, so the charge throws may not even go through. They can get really aggressive, though, so they can definitely be dangerous when you're fighting them up close, but at least there's only 2 of them to deal with, so it's not going to be too bad compared to what we've been dealing with. As long as you keep your distance from them, you know, you can throw your axe at them, but they will rush you a lot. They are aggressive. But Atreus does distract them a lot, too, so that helps. Yeah, so now you'll have the boss fight coming up, and more of a mini-boss, but this can be tough because, you know, after you deal with these enemies, the boss comes out, but then you'll have another 2 enemies that come out while you're fighting the boss. I think there's only 2 enemies that come out while you're fighting the boss. I don't think there was any more, but 2 is enough while you're trying to deal with the boss, even though the boss is easy. You know, you don't really want to have them alive while you're fighting the boss. So I would suggest saving up your rage mode. Or if you have the rage talisman that I mentioned, you know, use that to get the rest of the meter that you need to fill up your rage. And then use it when those 2 guys come out, and use those stomps immediately with the rage mode to knock them into the pits. You can get rid of them immediately that way. That's what I did. I found that to be effective. And then once they're gone, you just fight the boss like normal. You know, it's just a matter of getting used to the rhythm of throwing your axe a little bit early before the boss shoots out his beam, and you'll land the axe right on his weak spot. I didn't bother picking up the fragments that he drops on the ground because they can explode and kill you. So, and they don't seem to do any more damage than the axe does, and if they do, it's minimal. So I didn't bother with them. I just throw the axe at the boss. I would recommend just doing that. Just make sure you're not close to those fragments on the ground. Just watch out where you're at because they'll kill you. Yeah, here I use a resurrection stone. I would suggest like using your resurrection stone on this fight if you need it. Because if you use it and die, you don't lose it. You know, you can still use it again if you need to retry this fight. And then after this, you're going to see a blacksmith right away. So this is the safe part to use the resurrection. I wouldn't use it on any of the fights previous to this part. But on this fight, it's safe to use it. So you just buy another one as soon as you see the blacksmith. Oh yeah, there was another one hiding behind this rock here. And we're going to be using this rock a lot on the mini-boss. Because, you know, it'll make sure you don't get shot by the beam. And then you can take your time with coming out from the rock and just landing shots with the axe when you have an opening. I like to throw the axe a little bit before he's about to open up, and you'll get a feel for that after a little while. It shouldn't take much to get the feel for that rhythm, so just throw the axe a little early and then roll out of the way. While the axe is airborne, you should already be rolling out of the way. And just keep your, you may need to keep rolling to the side because he'll move the beam across, so, you know, you may have to roll several times. But the rock will make a big difference. It'll give you some cover. So you can't go through that, so. The only tricky part is that, you know, like when the two enemies come out, that can be tricky. That's why I say have your rage ready for when they come out. And you'll see how you can take them out really fast. And also, of course, avoid those fragments on the floor. Don't even get near them because they blow up. You can pick them up and throw them at them, but I don't see what the purpose of it is. You can just use the axe, and it seems to do the same amount of damage. Or very similar. You see, they explode in a pretty big radius, so they're dangerous. So now you have a few enemies that come out. I just use the rage mode immediately and use that rage air stomp. Knocks the guy in the pit immediately, run over to the next guy, use it again, and that's it. They're done. So that way you're not going to have any interruptions during the fight. So just be ready to do that. You don't have a lot of time to do that. As you saw, I barely got that in the amount of time I had with the rage meter. So to get them both out like that, you do have to do it really fast. That was my first time dealing with them, and I was just fortunate that I was able to pull it off that fast because I didn't know exactly what they were going to be. I just reacted. But yeah, now it's very easy. Now you just repeat the same shit, you know, for as long as it takes. I think when his bar doesn't even go all the way down, you may have a chance to... Actually, there's a way to stun him, and I think do massive damage to him, you know, early on, but I didn't end up getting his stun meter up because the way I was doing it, I guess, didn't really work out that way. But anyway, he just ends up dying anyway, so it's easy. But this fight can be tough, you know, it's not really an easy fight. It didn't take me too long, but it can be difficult. So you get something that gives you a 12% reduction in damage that you take from Dark Elf attacks. So you may want to equip that. I guess that would help against the all these elves that we've been fighting. I think they're considered Dark Elves. I don't really pay attention to enemy names too much, but I'm assuming that it would help in this area. But you know, it should help with that, so it might be worth equipping one of those. And then in here you get a runic of some sort. I don't remember what it was. See what it is. Okay, yeah, it's the rapidly spinning axe attack. I think that was pretty useful for crowd control, if I remember right. I mostly used it on normal. I haven't used it much yet. I haven't played too far beyond this point as of yet, so I'll probably experiment with it and see if I like it before switching it out, possibly. So yeah, so now the only part left now in this video is showing me getting a horn, and also you get the blacksmith. So I don't know if I show it here, but on the right side, you know, in this direction that I'm walking now is where the blacksmith is. So that's why I say it was safe to use a resurrection stone, because you can just buy another one here. And yeah, and then I'll show you how to get the last horn, or you know, the horn that'll give you the upgrade to your rage bar if you've been following this video. This is another, you know, puzzle where you have to throw the axe quickly at all the targets. You know, pretty standard puzzle. The first part, you just have to line this axe up in that crack of the door so that it goes through and hits both of those. And then you just have to hit the 3 targets with your axe. And, you know, after you do that, you'll get the horn. I think this took me a few tries. It's not too cleanly edited, but you know, you get the idea. Just got to hit all 3 before your time runs out. You got a brief amount of time to hit them all. And then that's it. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I should have some more videos up pretty soon, so thanks again.